Welcome everyone to this edition of the YOGAmazing video podcast. I am Chaz. I'm your host and welcome back. Now this episode is brought to us by audible.com. Now they are the leading provider of downloadable audio entertainment out there on the web. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of audiobooks for you to choose from health and fitness. Maybe you're into fiction, nonfiction, maybe biographies, or maybe cooking, something like that. There's so many books out there that you can download from there. Please, you can take your choice by going to audiblepodcast.com/YOGAmazing. Now, a book that I would recommend getting, because if it was not for this person right here, Steve Jobs, he's got his audio. They got that book on audible.com that you can download and actually hear as opposed to reading, and hearing about his life and how everything came to get together for him and his journey in his life through Apple and the computers and the iPhone and the iPod. And the reason I bought it is because he was an inspiration. He's the reason I was fortunate enough to create this podcast to interact with you. So there's a great book for you to go check out right now. Well, after class, okay? So remember, audiblepodcast.com/YOGAmazing, thousands of books. Please check it out after class. Now, well, before I get into the email, what do you think? What do you think, huh? You like the new digs? You like the new YOGAmazing studio? I told you there were some changes coming after 300. Well, this is one of them. A new studio space, a little bit more cozier, a little bit warmer. It was time for a change. So this is the new YOGAmazing space, and lots of things coming up in the future. Another show coming up. More about that in the future. Now let's get into this week's email. And this one comes in from Jason. He says, Chaz, first of all, I want to start off by saying that my girlfriend and I love, is that it right there? Love your podcast. I see that. My daughter does it, so I had to do it. So he says that he suffers from lower back problems. He works at the University of Michigan Hospital, and he has lower back issues in the lumbar. And he asked me, I've done the lower back classes, but can you do something specific for the lumbar? And of course, my answer, as always, is, of course, yes. So this class will be specific for people who have issues in the lumbar region. So it's going to be a class that not only that Jason can utilize, but all of us, because everybody has problems with their lower back, myself included, at given times in your day, in your life. So thank you, Jason, for this idea. And if you have an idea for an upcoming episode, please send it to me, chaz@yogamazing.com. You can also find me in Facebook with my Chaz personal page or the YOGAmazing fan page. And you can also find me in Twitter under Chaz and YOGAmazing, or you can find YOGAmazing in the YouTube channel as well. Lots of ways to connect, interact, lots of great conversation. Please join the conversation, because we get into lots of great things online together. And your inspirations for these shows come from all these channels. So please keep them coming. So as always, remember as we go through today's class to breathe, relax, and have fun in this brand new edition of the YOGAmazing video podcast. From here, let's open up our knees and bring it into child's pose. So stretch your arms out, take your forehead to the floor, and just deepen the breath. Take the first few minutes here of class and just relax. Quiet the mind, deepen the breath. Remember, as we go through the class, we do what's called ujjayi breathing. That's where we inhale deeply through the nose, hold the throat, expand the chest and lungs. Just breathe. Keep your breath deep and fluid, constant, as I always say, like a waterfall, never changing, same rhythm, same pace. From here, let's bring it up into a cat and cow pose. Shoulders over the rings of the wrist, knees are hips width apart. So from here, we're going to inhale, look up, shoulder blades down, spread the sits bones. And as you exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Looking up. And rounding the back. Squeeze the abs. Set your own pace. Just breathe and move slowly now. Follow the breath. Flow with the breath. Then from here, bring it back to the center. Form the table, and we're going to bring up the right arm and the left leg. Make sure that the neck is long, neutral with the spine, rotating the left hip, pointing the toes down, extending through the right arm. Deepen the breath. And release, come back to the table, and let's take it to the other side. Left arm, right leg, or if you're opposite of me because of filming, just because of the way the angle is, just do whichever arm and leg you choose. And then bring it back to the table and go to a child's pose. And from here, let's bring it up, take it back into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, push it back. Remember, we want a nice long straight spine, deep in the breath. Hang out here, root the heels. If your heels don't touch the floor, you know what that always means. It just means your heels don't touch the floor, no big deal. Deep in the breath. From here, let's bring the right foot forward into a lunge position. Okay, a couple of variations here. Nice deep lunge. Okay, sit right here. Fingertips to the floor. Firming up. Don't let your knee bend, the back leg. Firm it up. You want to work on your legs and your bottom. This is good for that as well as for your lumbar. And then we're going to bring it to our knee and hold. Stay here and breathe. And then bring the arms up now. And fingertips to the floor, lunge. Not lunge, but lunge. And go back to down dog. See, I may have a new studio, but the jokes are still old and bad. But hey, what more do you want? It's all good. And take the other foot forward. For me, it's the left. And from here, let's bring it into a lunge. Fingertips to the floor. Again, don't let that leg bend. Keep it nice and firm. Again, it works your legs, works your bottom. Deepen the breath. And hands to the knee, hold. And arms up. Breathe. Hands to the floor, lunge. Down dog. From here, let's walk both feet forward. And we're just going to do standing forward fold. Let your arms hang, or as I like to call this sometimes, a ragdoll. So just bend your knees slightly, taking pressure off the lower back, and just relax here and hang. And then from here, we're going to bring it up, arms up, hands to the chest, bring it into mountain Tadasana pose. Keep the hands to the chest. Close your eyes, take a few breaths here and breathe. And from here, releasing the hands to the side, we're going to work on Tadasana, the mountain pose. And it's a very simple but challenging pose that a lot of people don't think about too often. Think about what I'm doing right now. I'm standing the way I would typically stand. I'm leaning to my left, which is going to sort of put my body out of whack. So I mean, this is something that I wasn't planning on doing, but I just did it because out of habit. You know, I'm used to doing things like this or however. But through the mountain pose, it allows me to correct myself, get my body realigned, and it's going to help in so many ways, because if you slouch in your standing, it's going to affect you in so many ways. You know, if your shoulders are around it and you're slouching, look at what it's going to be doing here. Can you think about it? Where it's going to start hurting? You're going to start slouching and rounding. It's going to start hurting your back, lower back, and it's going to also start tightening up your hamstrings, and it's going to constrict you in your breathing. But if we roll the heart open, okay, let's do this. Roll the heart. So let's roll our shoulders, roll our heart open. I'll turn a little bit sideways so you can see me. My fingertips are reaching for the floor. Now I want you to lift your toes, spread your toes, and root your toes, evenly distributing your weight so you're going down evenly into your mat and the floor, the earth, wherever you're standing, sand, wherever you can be. But make sure you're firmly grounded and evenly distributing your weight, not leaning to either side. That's an issue we don't want to do. We want to make sure that we're focused and rooting evenly. So hands to your side, rooting down through the feet, but lengthening. From the hips down, you root. From the hips up, we lengthen. So firm up your legs, draw the kneecaps up, draw your navel in as you tuck your tailbone under. Tuck that tailbone under. Square the chin up, gaze forward. Don't let your head or shoulders round and slouch. Bring your chin slightly back, roll the shoulder blades down, point the fingertips to the floor. Gaze forward, deep into breath. So your whole body's active. You're not just standing here. You're standing with complete awareness. So deepen your breath. Now from here, let's open up our legs. We're going to be doing a couple of standing asanas that are going to be beneficial for our lumbar region. So the first pose we're going to do is triangle. So from here, let's open up our legs. My right foot is in a line with the back heel or with the cup of the foot, depending on where you are within your pose. Now when you're doing this, I don't want you just to go, okay, triangle pose, boom, go into autopilot mode and just crunch yourself into a pose. That's not what we want. We always want length and extension of the body. So imagine here that this part of the body is you're lengthening through the inner ribs, the outer ribs. So from here, arms up, big inhale. And as you exhale, reach. I don't want you to go down. I just want you to get that length. Reach forward. See how my hips are going back, okay? And I'm extending through the arms. Okay, bring it back. Gaze forward this time. Inhale, looking, get the length, get the reach. Then take it down into a triangle. Placing your hand down gently on the leg, then bring up your head, gazing up at the arm into the air. And remember, the arm that's in the air should be light. The arm on the leg should be light as well. Your whole body, it should not be just real rigid or hard. It should feel like you're floating in the asana. Spiral the thighs away from each other. Gaze up deep in the breath. Now look down, take your hand to your hip, and we're going to bring it into Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. So I'm going to bring my hand to the floor, and I'm going to bring myself up. And then from here, you got to really roll that hip, tuck your bottom, bring the arm up. Now, if you have the capability, look up at the arm in the air. If not, look down at the floor. Lengthen through that leg. And release. Back to the center, hands to the hips. Good, let's turn it the other way. Same thing on the other side, triangle and half moon. So from here, we're going to do the same type of routine. So we're going to reach, big inhale, lengthen. Don't go down. Get that length so you're lengthening through here. Bring it back. Okay, you got the idea? So big inhale, reach, get the length, hips go back, hand to the leg, only going down. It could be here. You could use a block or you can take it to the floor. But a lot of times when people try to go deep, they start doing this stuff. Incorrect. Time out. Won't do that. Don't do that. It's bad for you. Not going to help your lumbar. Don't. Only go down as deep as you need to. Check your ego. Put it above your door. Ego, stay away. Okay? So remember, only go down as deep as you need to. You may not be as deep as I am. You may only be here. You may be here. You may be on the floor. But wherever you are, be where you should be for this class. No more, no less. Both hands are light. The whole pose is open, breathing through it. And then look down, hand to the hip, and you're going to put the hand to the floor, then you're going to pop it up. Then you're going to bring up that leg, back leg, roll that hip, tuck your bottom under, bring the arm up. If you can look up, look up. If not, look down, but firm up that leg that you're balancing on. That's very, very important. You really firm up those muscles. Deepen the breath. And release. Come back to the center. Whoops. And bring your feet together for the Mountain Tadasana. Come back to the front of the mat. Good. Arms up, get a back bend. Take it down. Walk it back to down dog. And then from here, drop to your knees. And then we're going to be bringing it into a cobra. So from here, thumbs to your chest, hands by your chest, elbows tucked in, chin to the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift up using your lower back. Firm up your thighs and your bottom, rooting the legs to the floor. Neck neutral with the spine, deepen the breath. And release. Turn your head, palms up. Chin to the floor. For Shalabhasana, locust pose. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring it up. Arms up, legs up, chest up. And release. Turn your head, palms up. And from here, we're going to bring it up. We're going to crisscross our legs. And we're going to lie on our back. We're going to do a twisting pose and then rest. So from here, I want you to bring the legs in. Give yourself a great big hug. And then take your arms to the side. And then take your legs to the right, look to the left. And rotate it left, legs to the left, look to the right. And bring it back to the center. One more big hug, squeeze it in. And then from here, stretch it out on the floor. Shavasana. Just breathe, relax, surrender. Allow these next few minutes to just be present with your breath, to allow the body and the mind to discover the beauty and the power that you've given your body through this class of yoga. And this is truly where it all comes to fruition. This is the moment where it sounds simple to just rest, but completely surrendering and letting go and just allowing the yoga to do what it needs to do within us is really one of the hardest things. So just relax, breathe, and surrender. Take the peace and the strength and share it. Namaste.